Joining me now is Douglass Sloan. He's a principal at the consulting firm National Capital Strategy Group. He's also the first vice president of the D.C. chapter of the NAACP. Douglass, as Dan pointed out early on in his administration, back in January, Biden signing these 4 executive orders meant to thwart discrimination against racial minorities. One of the steps, of course, to ban any new Department of Justice contracts with private prisons. So it came out of the gate strong. As one of the people in Dan's story said, he's a man on a mission. Is he doing enough?
You said, is he doing it up? Is he a man on a mission about to get this work done? I would say yes. We're hearing all the right words and rhetoric from the president. We're seeing movement with the executive orders. We're seeing the right moves in terms of the most diverse cabinet in history. With I believe he had not only is his first vice president, his vice president is a black woman, also of Southeast Asian descent. But, and I'm trying to remember exactly, the black defense secretary is also the first black defense secretary in history is Mr. Lloyd Austin. So he has a very diverse cabinet. He is truly living up to the words and rhetoric that we've seen thus far. He's pushing for the George Floyd Policing Act to pass Congress. And I really do think that he will be able to enact some of the criminal justice reform and some of the issues, some of the reform regarding social justice issues that we see in this country moving forward.
You mentioned the George Floyd Justice and Policing Act. It's already passed the House. And I was going to ask you about that, as well as the John Lewis Voting Rights Act, which also passed the House. But it seems like they're stalled in the Senate, and so much, he can only do so much. Obviously, he has to rely on Congress. Is there any hope, you think, that he can actually drive these pieces of legislation forward?
Some of these pieces can be passed through reconciliation that will only require a majority threshold of 51 votes, which we can do now in this Congress. And obviously some of perhaps some of the more intricate and detailed pieces of legislation and policies is going to require more than that. But I know, as I recall, a lot of this stuff can be passed with a simple majority. The issue that we're facing is, can we get all the Democrats to vote in favor of this? We have some Democrats that have fallen out of line a bit. The Senator Joe Manchin from West Virginia and Kristen Sinema from Arizona have not always supported the party line, or rather held the party line on some of these issues. So therein lies the issue, therein lies the rub within the Senate, not just getting it past the Republicans, but ensuring that we have full Democratic support to be able to get these bills passed. But I'm hoping that Joe Biden, given all of his experience in the U.S. Senate, as well as Chuck Schumer being a long time bastion in our U.S. Senate, can help to get these bills across the finish line.
The Biden administration is also taking action within the Justice Department. As you know, in the last few weeks, they're investigating the Minneapolis Police Department, the Louisville Police Department. There's also a report out that the Department of Justice is also planning to seek federal indictments for Derek Chauvin and 3 other ex-Minneapolis police officers. So talk to us about his Justice Department, how it looks different from the Barr Justice Department under Trump with Merrick Garland in charge. What do you see in terms of a difference there?
Oh, the difference is night and day. We just saw, I think it was just yesterday, where the FBI raided Giuliani's Manhattan apartment. And the fact that that happened for some of the things that he was alleged to have committed, they're looking for evidence as to whether Rudolph Giuliani acted on behalf of foreign entities while he was working for Trump. They were aware of that during Trump's tenure, but the Justice Department was unable to act until we had a new man in charge. So the differences are night and day in terms of Joe Biden saying that he is enabling his Justice Department to pursue issues of inequity and race and injustices within our criminal justice system and throughout this nation's institutions, whereas under Trump and Attorney General Barr, that simply was not happening. Even in the Department of Education, they were not pursuing any complaints or allegation of racism within our U.S. education system, and that's criminal. They just weren't doing it. So this really is a breath of fresh air. And again, the differences are night and day in terms of Joe Biden's Justice Department and Donald Trump's Justice Department. And, we hope to return to normalcy, so to speak, regarding our Justice Department actually pursuing justice.
Douglass Sloan joining us from Washington, D.C. Thanks so much for your analysis.
Thank you.